once again we are back with Meenakshii. Hi Meenakshii, how are you doing? Great. So Meenakshii is in doctorate in parapsychology, mythology and occultism. She has been treating and healing people all around, all over the world. We are going to discuss today on the lines of, obviously, to start with occultism. So Meenakshii, people still have a very stagnated notion about what occultism is and how is it beneficial or how does it really works for people. They do not know the real side of occultism. It's just a preconceptualized notion that really works in the mind of people. Why don't you say something about that our audience would like to maybe interested to know about it?
See, occult, if you take it by the dictionary meaning, it would mean hidden. So people are not supposed to know about it, and it is something only for a few. I mean, there are a chosen few who actually get into the subject and study it, and it's not for everybody. It doesn't even interest everyone. It's only that you see that people are interested in certain amount of occultism, maybe just astrology, or there are other things that people talk about these days, which is Reiki, which is pranic healing. So basically, you are talking about the same energy platform that we are talking about and branching it out in different ways. So what happens is, this knowledge was only kept for a few because it was not supposed to be misused. But anyway, it's been misused these days because people know a bit, dabble into it. I know a lot of people who dabble into occultism and get into all kinds of wrong things. So it is not for all. I mean, it is a way of life. It is. I would look at it from my experience. Like from a very young age, I got interested in this, and I used to read a lot of books. I used to read a lot of books about all kinds of magic and see, all children are interested in magic. I am sure you were also interested in magic at some point of time. So whenever you talk about rainbows, you talk about fairies to a child, they get interested. So for a child, even lighting a matchstick from a matchbox is also magic, because they would look at it with startled eyes. So it is not something that they see on a regular basis. So the misconception of occult is, you are going to be scared of anything that you can't see. So people are generally scared of darkness. If you look at children, some children are very scared of darkness. Even some adults are scared of darkness. Why? That is because they have been told that we will punish you in the dark. We will, if you are doing something wrong, we lock you up in the dark. So that is how people get that notion about, okay, there must be something wrong in the dark. There is nothing wrong in the dark. Say for example, if you can't see something, that does not mean that it doesn't exist. I keep saying this on a regular basis to my client, like so many people have questions that does it really exist, or do spirits really exist, or does this happen, or does that happen. They have various questions. For example, if you switch off the light in this room, you can't see anything, but they are still there. All you need to do is switch on the light. So basically, all you need to do is get empowered and get that knowledge. Light is knowledge. So see, for example, if this room is dark and you enter this room and you know where the furnitures are placed, you know exactly where they are, you will be able to walk into it and do whatever you want and get out of it. So if somebody is coming to this room new in the dark, they will possibly fumble and fall, So it is a problem about knowing and not knowing, studying and not studying. So occult is something, spirituality is something that is a connection with your own self. If somebody is really interested in connecting to their own self, there are various methods and ways of getting to the same, getting to your destination. Either you take a right or the left, but you will reach the destination. It is what your destination is and how you want to enjoy your journey. That's about it.
I'd like to ask you about, people these days, more than physical exhaustion, emotional exhaustion has come up to be a very important and an issue what people are facing. How can someone, is there any way that you would like to suggest, or do you know something that someone can balance the emotional empowerment of an individual? Like how can one balance its own emotional sync and
See, I always talk about different tools, different methods. I teach a lot of methods where people get, get that power and get that strength from their inner self, that they can handle any situation. That is what I talk about. See, if there are problems, you get the solution with that problem. There are 10 problems to a solution, and to those solutions there can be another 10 problems to which you can again have 10 solutions. More than that, there are dime a dozen solutions, and there are going to be problems, because this life is about hurdles. So, it is how you get out of those hurdles, and it should be exciting. If life is monotonous and everything is fine, you are not going to enjoy life as such. So, yes, if you are talking about mental exertion, I look at people nowadays, they are very distracted. Even about 20 years back, or maybe 30 years back, we did not have so much of mobile gadgets, we did not have so many gadgets. We were still happy playing in the grounds, we were still happy with very small things, and we were happier, we were more active. And if you look, there is a sudden shift of the entire dimension in this entire, there is a whole paradigm shift of people, you know, they are getting into different kind of gadgets, and the world is little different. So, there is very little time for your own connection with your own self. So, forget about dealing with problems, you are not even connected to your own self, you do not even know your own requirement. How are you going to deal with those problems? So, this is a major thing that I see. I do train people, I consult them on how to get in touch with their own self and how to empower them.
That is the most primary thing that one should look up to, like getting and connecting with your own inner self, and then trying further. So getting further into this, obviously Folklore, one of your brand, offers healing in kind of physical health, mental health, and obviously money. So what are your particular take, what exactly Folklore does, if we talk about the services to our people?
See, I run a variety of workshops, I consult people, I train them, and in most cases I discuss their problems, because whenever a person has a problem, they come to me, whether it is their domestic issues, their child issues, education problem, whether it is job issues, business issues, all kinds of issues a person has. And where I see that success is the main issue, so they are not being able to reach the success or the amount of success. Everybody says that I deserve this, I deserve that. I mean, they do not even have the graph ready, they do not have their vision boards ready. I do not even see where they want to see themselves. If I ask them a question like, where do you want to see yourself a year from now or 5 years from now, they do not know. How much of money you want to earn today, and how much of money you see yourself earning 5 years later, that is absolute blank. So, basically you do not know how much money you want to earn in a month. People just say that they do not have the money, but how much money is enough money for you, how much money you want to earn. So, first question is, you need to know that first, and then only you can get into a situation to multiply that or even attract that in some way.
So obviously money is something we will come later, but something I would like to pick up, like health of and the children issues. So what kind of issues do your clients come up to you for children and stuff?
Most children or their parents, they come up with issues of they are addicted to gadgets. Okay. They are watching TV all the time. They are not focused in studies. They used to study before, now they do not study. So, and all kinds of things. So, I would suggest to parents, or what I see as far as what goes wrong is, when a child is actually listening to I mean, what do parents complain? My son or my daughter does not listen to me. Okay. I mean, we have also gone through the same situation in life. How much did we actually listen to our own parents? So, it is not that a child does not really listen to what the parents are saying or do, they actually see the parents and see themselves growing, they would look at them more. So, what they are doing is exactly a replica of what their parents are doing, there is no difference. It is only that parents expect the children to be something else, but they do not realize they are looking up to them and learning the same thing from them.
So, it is more about the role of the parents in the
Absolutely, we look up to people and learn. Even you and me, there are role models. We look up to people, and either people or entities or whoever we look up to. It can be our ancestors, it can be anyone who have been in our family who we look up to, but there has to be definitely someone we look up to and we want to reach that situation or position.
So, obviously, when we talk occultism, there are different paths, different ways to it. Some are right and left, which you mentioned just now. So, if you just specifically tell something about your experience and how did you start taking up thing, what kind of area interests you?
See, I think it's all round growth, you know. You go up from, like, you can't go from the ground floor to the 10th floor, you have to go step by step. So, when I look at, I am not a very religious person, so I don't follow religion as such. Yes, I am born into a certain family which I am supposed to follow, but obviously I had various questions. I had questions from a very young age, and I see a lot of people have questions. Right from having questions to believing in God and believing in spirituality, people become atheists also. So, because they don't get the right answers. But I think you need to follow yourself, you should follow your mind rather than blindly believing what everybody is doing. And if you follow your mind and follow your heart, I am sure you will be led to the right direction.
Coming back to folklore, mostly people come up with money and health problems. We discussed health. So, for money, there are two major problems. One, someone is earning and not being able to achieve considerably. They are thinking they are not being able to achieve what they should, and maybe even if they are earning, the other set is not being able to retain that. What is the root cause for this? Do you have any specific solution for?
See, the root cause for this entire thing is the mind that we are performing with, my mind, what I am carrying. My mind is carrying million of information which are there, and obviously it's retaining that, and whatever my mind is carrying, I am attracting the same amount of money that I am carrying in my mind. So, some people are not carrying the money part, some people are carrying the problem part of it. So, they are only talking about the problem of not having that money. That is what I see as the first part. The second part is the environment that I am living in. So, today you are breathing, right? You are not conscious that you are breathing, but we are breathing as an exercise. We do it, we are regularly doing it, we are constantly doing it, but none of us are consciously doing it. So, we are breathing still. So, there is this air that is going in and coming out. So, what is the kind of air? That air also has energy, and a lot of people around us, that means they are leaving their vibrations in that energy, and most people have negative vibrations these days. So, we are taking in the negative energy and we are breathing in it. So, that means we are also negative. So, what we are talking about is we need to tune ourselves to the positive energy, and we need to learn how to tune ourselves to that.
We'll take a short break and be right back. Stay tuned.
Good evening, viewers. We are with Meenakshii. Hello, Meenakshii.
Hello.
It's that time of the show where we ask few questions sent to us by our viewers and we put it across to Meenakshii. So the first one we have here this evening is, I am a builder. I have made a huge investment in promoting a piece of land. The project is half complete. The problem is no property is being booked and no fresh investments are coming in.
Okay. Well, we'll have to check exactly, possibly the energy of the land, there's a problem with it, or if there's some kind of other kind of blockage which is there. So, we can sort that out. Maybe the land which is acquired, maybe whoever owned that piece of land earlier before this building was made, maybe it was against their will in some way, that is why it has got stuck. See, a lot of time it happens that the owner of these kind of large lands which are there all around. Now, when we are building or constructing on that, there are some difference in opinion possibly which happens with the owner who was the owner of the land and the person who is going to construct it. In most cases, there are sometimes joint ventures which happen, and even in such cases, that means there is some kind of dispute which is there between these two energies which are there, and that is why these problems are happening.
Okay. The second, I think this is quite a common one. I have achieved all the targets set by my company, yet I am being ignored during time of promotion. My peers have superseded me.
Okay. So this is actually this is a very common problem which is faced by a lot of people. This is somewhere to do with our own mind block, and we have to see exactly how our living conditions are. Maybe actually this person is living in a cluttered place. Maybe I mean, he is sleeping somewhere. Maybe there is a lot of things under his bed which he has. You know, a lot of these old beds, they have a lot of stuff underneath the bed. So when you are sleeping, so things that we are actually going to progress, and sleeping is basically like charging your body during your sleep.
Right.
So during that time when our ethereal body is supposed to be rejuvenating, maybe you are blocking that way with all the things stuffed under the bed. Maybe the energies are getting stuck in there. So that is why it's getting blocked.
Okay. And the third question. My wife has suddenly started getting strange scratch marks on her body.
This is also very common, I see, but these generally happens when there are kind of subtle energies around us which are kind of there in the house, and some negative energies. But this is not the only thing to look for when we are talking about energies which are there or some kind of possession, because scratching, we can also scratch ourselves at night while we are
Right.
sleeping. It's
Right,
very
right.
common that we scratch ourselves. What we need to look forward to is, are we losing a lot of hair more than common what we used to, and whether there are blood clot marks on the body or dark marks which are there near the thighs or somewhere near our biceps or arms or back. We need to see whether they are blood clot marks. Then we have to definitely meet a professional who does energy working and clear the energy. That means there are some traces of possession which are there.
Okay. So that's it for this evening. Thank you so much for watching this episode. We'll come back with few more questions next week. Till then, good night.
We are back after the question and answers. So we are back with Meenakshii again. So we were talking about money being one of the most discussed problem among, and the most people mostly come up with money as the most important problem when among most of your clients. So let's get back there. So we all need money. So how do we really look up to it? How do we really resolve it?
See, you have to open yourself in receiving money. Firstly, you have to channelize yourself in receiving money. It is about how your energies are synced with money, how you think about money, how your relationship with money is. In most cases, we see that the relationship of money with an individual is not very good. See, money is an energy, it's a very, very positive energy. So, when we are talking about money, our relationship with money, money is like a spirit, you know, it's an energy, energy meaning spirit. So, obviously, that is how we should have a relationship with money, we should have a bonding with money, and we should attract money so that money comes to us easily and effortlessly.
Wow. Now we get to know that money is also like an energy. So I would also, since the overall discussion has been on the lines of occultism, we know which is a lot of spirituality to it. The word spirituality and spirits are very close. If you explain, because I have no idea about it, I'm looking up to you to know.
See, whenever we talk about spiritualities, people kind of wear it as a badge, you know, with them these days. So, it's not about that, it is how you are linked to your inner self. I always talk about inner self. Now, when we are talking about knowing this largest element that we talk about when we talk about the spirit element, that means there is this spirit energy around us. There are many entities, millions of them in that spirit world. It can the closest of our spirit world is our ancestor world. So, the ancestors who's been a part of our family and who are no more, they are in the first level of that spiritual realm. Then we have many other realms where a lot of spirits are there which are from lower parasites to higher divine energies. So, it is how we say, sometimes we say that people get possessed, and sometimes they say that especially in a lot of movies we see that they talk about demons possessing and things like that. There's nothing like that. You know, demons don't really have the time. Demons mean the ones which has got divine knowledge. If you're talking about the translation, if you check the dictionary meaning of it, so the one who has divine knowledge is demon. So, but this is of course a very concocted thing right now. So, which in films we see in a different way and otherwise we see in a different way. But whenever we talk about possession, we talk about our energies, basically it is our energies being down and any other energy which is around us, because human body is like a sponge, you know, we kind of attract a lot of energies towards ourselves. And the kind of vibration that we have, we exactly attract the same kind of energy to us. So, for example, if we are depressed, if we are sad, if we are on the negative side, we are thinking negative, we kind of attract a lot of negative energies towards us. So, that leads to a kind of mild possession or it can be acute possession. Now, if you see in today's world, if you are talking about possession also, then you will see a lot of people, out of 10 people, 8 people are possessed. Mild possession I am talking about, because the energy field are exchanged with so many other people, and that whenever we have a weak aura, so we attach that. With the use of tobacco, with the use of alcohol, our auras can get weak. So, when our auras get weak, we attract all kinds of negative energies towards ourselves. So, it becomes a body which is easily available for the parasites around us. It's just like parasites. It will inhibit your place.
If we see, people are very much into alcohol and smoking and stuff, majority, I would say majority, and the number of the intakers are increasing every day, it's not decreasing. So, how can actually people come out of it, or can really get out of this thing, because it's weakening their aura, it's opening them up to all the negativities.
Right. So, we do have a lot of workshops, we do have a lot of counseling sessions which takes care of addictions, all kinds of addictions, which can actually strengthen your aura and make it stronger, so that these kind of parasites or other negative energies can't affect you.
Okay. So, coming back to these energies that we were talking, so there must be spirits and entities, the divine ones. So, till date I had a notion of like demons are devils. So, I had this notion, but when you explained like demons are divine entities, can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
See, if you are talking about the ones with divine knowledge, they are actually called the ancient ones. They are very ancient energies, ancient gods and goddesses who has got immense power. Like even in our, if you talk about our Hindu religion, they say that there are 33,000 crore of gods and goddesses and Devi and Devtas that they talk about. So, they are all entities, they are all energies, and they are all divine energies. So, we are talking about divine powers which deal with different aspects of life, and they give you different strength. That is all that energy is, and there is nothing to do with anything else. How you seek that divine energies, protection, or how you want to apply that in your life is absolutely how open you are to receiving the grace. It's all about that.
Coming back to the problems what people generally face with money and health and obviously others, how does this like connecting with these entities or spirits, or does this really help?
See, in the Indian culture, if you look at Indian culture only, what is the kind of culture that we have? We do believe in puja. We do some kind of, whenever we have an auspicious thing happening, we do a kind of havan. Any office which is opening, we do a small puja, even if it's the smallest of puja, but we do it. That means what? We are having some kind of ritual ceremony to invite some powers there, so that we can start off with whatever we want to start off in a better note, and so that we get protection and acknowledgement of the same, and have some blessings to take these things forward, right? So, since I have studied these kind of rituals or I have studied the mythology, global mythology, I use a lot of other, I mix it up. I don't restrict myself to Indian system, I don't restrict myself to Wicca, or I don't restrict myself to any kind of voodoo. I mix the entire thing and I see exactly for which case what is suitable for which person I am doing, how is that person's energy field and how far he can balance himself, because it is not only me who is doing something. If I am trying to work on somebody's mind, if I am trying to work on somebody's energy field, that means I have to work on him. That means 50% is his mind, because I have to train his mind, I have to rewire his mind in a certain way. He has to be trained and conditioned. His mind needs to be conditioned to receive whatever has been given to him. So, it is 50% of me working with energies and it is 50% of him working with his mind. So, it is only when both these things work together we can get the best result.
About your other venture, this was all about folklore, that what we discussed so far. About your other venture that which takes care of special needs of people, like special needs of children, adults, samatvam. Can you please tell us about it?
See, it's with years of experience, years of seeing what people go through. I have come across a lot of people, a lot of children. I deal with a lot of child issues. I see a lot of children who have very special requirements. Everybody is not born in the same way. Some people are born with disabilities of various kinds, whether it is mind or body or whichever kind. There are things that one can do to reduce those conditions. There are things that one can do. It's there in the scriptures. It is there in our system and in global system as well, that you can actually reduce those conditions with certain practices which you can do over a period of time, which can be done, and then you get to a certain level of achievement or conditioning to that. So, we have opened up Samatvam, where we have this activity area for children as well as for adults, where we train them with martial arts, we have kickboxing, we have other kind of functional training, CrossFit training, yoga, various kinds of workout depending on person to person for different body types, different kinds of people. And we are trying to balance their mind and body in a certain way, so that they are being able to perform in their optimum way.
So, that's with Samadvam. So, you have been conducting a lot of workshop and you keep on doing that. So, how does one connect to you and how can one identify what is your immediate workshop going on, and how do they get aware of it, and what are the kind of workshop that you usually conduct and do?
See, I have various kind of workshops depending on the kind of people that come to me at that point of time. We make a database and see exactly what are the people looking at that point of time, and we create those workshops trying to cater to those problems. Because as I say, it is not only ceremonial magic, it is not only any kind of ritual that you are going to do, it is not any kind of other cleansing, but it is to do with your mind, how your body is functioning, how your mind is functioning, how open you are to receiving positive energy and everything. So, this basic workshop, it can be a one-day workshop, it can be a two-day workshop as well, depending on what we are doing. It will absolutely change your way of thinking, it will wire yourself in a different way. See, you have been carrying your emotions, and what you are today is because of what you have been carrying for the last few years and what you have been doing. So, this from here on, if we have to change it for something better, that means we have to make changes to you, that means you have to make changes to your own mind. So, that is where we come into the picture. We try to help people to change the way of their thinking and to make them think in a positive way.
To book an appointment, kindly connect on the below numbers shown on the screen. You can also email to book an appointment for yourself with Meenakshii. You can look up to her Facebook page, Folklore Magic, for recent updates, and to know more about it, you can log on to her website, magickinblack.com. It's time that you tune into your inner self. Goodbye.
Good life.